Thank you. I just want to kind of update the board and obviously the community through the live stream just about where we're at in our response to the coronavirus. And let me say things have really been interesting over the last week or so, and some of the information and the things that we're doing and having these conversations to try to prepare literally have changed on an hourly basis. And so we're really trying to make sure that the message that we get to our community is we are responding to the most up-to-date information that we possibly can, but we need to be prepared that a lot of the things we have in place could change at any moment in time. And so we spend a lot of time making sure that we have all the information. We watch the governor's press conference every day and make sure we're aware of the things that are going on. So originally last week when this first really, I think it was last Wednesday that when the governor held a press conference and started to mandate, some things that we were responsible for. One of the things that he said was we need to start looking at this in 30-day increments. And so we started planning accordingly. So, the idea that we canceled field trips, professional development, all those meetings and things like that. So if from that date would have taken us to April 13th. So regardless of where we're at right now and when and if and whatever happens with school, those things that we put in place in relation to them are still in place until April 13th. So any of the events that we had canceled and field trips and things like that, regardless of whether or not we're in school, are still canceled. So that brings us up to that. So, and obviously then on Friday was, or Thursday then, I think the first press conference was on Wednesday, and we had made some plans. And we were waiting actually to release some of those things until the press conference. And then that's the date on Thursday when he announced the school closure. And so a lot of those things kind of went out the window in relation to that, and we had to kind of put that message together again. And so the governor did again, close schools effective actually today at the end of the school day, but we felt like that we needed, we have it's 6 o'clock, the lights go off, so sorry about that. 6:02, I guess it would be, the lights go off. And we felt that it was important for us to use a day that was already scheduled for our staff to do some planning in relation to the governor's recommendation, although he did misspeak a little bit, but he soon corrected himself about the extended spring break, which is not exactly an extended spring break, but it's actually just a different, students aren't at home, but we're still expected to deliver education to our students. And so we spent all day today with our staff really putting together a plan. The teaching and learning department, special services all spent 2 or 3 days last week and through the weekend, at least allowing our teachers to have some structure and some guidance in how to do that. And so our teachers spent that day today. But let me back up to last Friday. Friday would have been the last day of school for our students. And I think our staff did a really good job of having conversations with our students about how this long, time off would affect them. So we gathered information on students that might have, some concerns about their well-being during that time off. And I think we were able to connect them with some services that are out there. So we did get a chance to spend some time with our students on Friday before they left. Obviously, a lot of them had, concerns, and a lot of them, surprisingly, were not happy about the idea that they were going to be off school for a while. You would think that they would enjoy that, but many of them weren't. And so, again, as far as the students are concerned, a couple things in relation to them. I'll talk about first and foremost, we were concerned about food and how our kids would continue to receive the meals that they get every day here from our school system. And again, credit our transportation department, Jen Fosnaugh and Winnie Brewer, our food service department. I don't know if they slept during that time at all, but they came up with a plan to deliver meals. And again, their information is changing, so they've had to adjust that plan along the way. And then, Chris has done a real good job of making sure that stuff is updated too on our website and all those kinds of things so that our community knows what those pickup and drop off times look like. And so the latest and greatest is on our website. It's been sent via text and phone messages on a daily basis, directing people to go. So food service, I think, was taken care of. I feel confident that our kids will have access to food And we are doing that through spring break. So we're not just, doing it next week and then ending the week after, which was spring break. So for the next 3 weeks, our kids will have access to meals every day. And then the other part of that obviously was, kind of what I just talked about in relation to delivering education to our students. And so I think it's very important, and we make very clear that our staff spent a lot of time today, and obviously they spent a lot of time over the weekend looking at what their expectations would be for the students in delivering that education. And we know we have an equity situation here in Marion. So what we provide, whether it's paper and pencil or online, is not where it stops. It's not so much how we deliver, but we know that our families struggle. We've had emails from students that said, I know I'm supposed to be turning in lessons. Can I do them at night because I have to watch my siblings because there's nobody home during the day. So, all those things we have to take into account in our community when we're thinking about this process and how we deliver education. So, our staff did a really good job of putting together a good plan, but, the goal is that we are encouraging our students and our families to be engaged in that, but we also understand that there's an equity situation and there's going to be those students who are really going to struggle with that. And so the idea is not so much about, what we're going to do if and when students don't do it or how they don't do it or anything like that. Right now, our major concern is giving access to the education to as many students as possible. And so that's kind of where we're at in relation to our students.